Welcome inside the Levy Center. It's Santa Clara Broncos women's basketball. Today on this Saturday afternoon, the Broncos host the Pacific Tigers right here on the WCC Network. I'm Joe Rizzo. Stand by. We'll have today's starting lineups and the opening tip coming up next. Welcome back to the Levy Center as we get ready for tip-off. Santa Clara and Pacific meeting for the first of two times here in the regular season. And a Broncos team desperate for a win off of a loss here on Thursday night to St. Mary's, the fourth consecutive defeat for Santa Clara. 4 straight losses have followed a great stretch in which they've won 8 out of 10. Broncos off to just a 1-5 start in conference play. Still above 500 overall, taking on Pacific at 2-4 and 7-10 overall. Here are the starting lineups for today's game. First for the visiting Tigers. They're coming off of a loss as well, beaten 91-80 up the road at San Francisco on Thursday night. And for Pacific, a lot of familiar names. They essentially brought back their entire team from a season ago. The leading scorer is Liz Smith, junior guard, at 14 points per game. Anaya James, the sophomore point guard, is having a great year. Looks like she's headed towards an all-conference season. 13 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists per contest. So she'll fill up that box score. So certainly Smith and James, 2 to watch on this Pacific side today. Elizabeth Elliott, a sophomore center. Sam Ashby, a senior guard. And Madeline Ennis, a junior forward, round out the starting 5 for the Tigers. Meanwhile, for the Santa Clara Broncos, you'd expect a desperate team here today. The Broncos really need a win here before they head back out on the road. Same lineup we saw on Thursday night. Santa Clara still very short-handed. No Olivia Pollard, no Lexi Pritchard, no Aziana Basalo, no Emma Ellinghaus. So Santa Clara, they played only 8 on Thursday. Likely will be the same here today. Ashley Maldonado, Laura Edmondson, Mariah Hudgens, Ashley Haraki, and Tess Heel, the starting 5 for Bill Carr's Santa Clara Broncos here this afternoon. As we take a look at the standings in the conference, as play gets underway here on this Saturday afternoon, you see the Broncos sitting in 9th place at 1-5, but only 2 games out of that 4th spot. It's still very muddled there in the middle. Certainly Gonzaga and Portland have established themselves with their identical 6-0 starts. Gonzaga is going to play Portland, in fact, later on tonight. But everyone else kind of jockeying for position. And That's the positive for Santa Clara when you look at that. Just 2 games out of that 4th spot, so they can get hot, a chance to move up significantly in those conference standings. These are 2 of the better shooting teams in the WCC, both from 3-point range, both from the free throw line. They've been 2 of the higher scoring groups here of late, and both have struggled somewhat defensively in recent weeks. So we'll see if those trends hold here today, and if that is the case, we could be headed for a high-scoring affair here this afternoon. Broncos in white, Pacific in black, and we are underway here from the Levy Center. Again, the first of 2 regular season meetings this year between the Broncos and the Tigers. They'll meet again next month out in Stockton. And it is Pacific that wins the opening toss. An entry pass was deflected, ended up in the hands, though, of Ennis. She misses, however, and Santa Clara clears the rebound. Ashley Hiraki flying into the front court, finds an open Maldonado in the corner for 3. Excellent look from Hiraki, and Maldonado buries it. 3-0 Santa Clara. Broncos started off hot here on Thursday night against St. Mary's, as finishing there in the lane is Smith. Liz Smith, the leading scorer for the Tigers at 14 points per game. Broncos made 5 threes in the first quarter against the Gales. Had a lead after 1 and then just really struggled offensively the rest of the night. In fact, went just 3 of 18 from 3-point range from the second quarter on. Hudgens, a pass that's stolen. And a turnover. Pacific comes away with the basketball, and in transition, a miss from Smith. Put back from Elliott, no good. And the Broncos come away with the basketball. However, Tess Heel has her pocket picked. Back and forth we go. Transition 3, no good from Smith. And a rebound to Santa Clara. Broncos leading 3-2 early here in the first quarter. And both of these teams coming off of a loss, as Hiraki draws the contact, and she will head to the line. A foul on the floor. For Pacific, ran into a red-hot USF team. The Dons made 16 threes on Thursday night in their 91-80 victory. Pacific last week did get a couple of home wins. They swept Pepperdine and LMU at home. Broncos, it's been a couple of weeks since they've picked up a win, so they could really use one here today as Tess Heel misses the open layup and then is called for a foul. He's trying to induce a tie-up there underneath. Heel, although she had a team-leading 16 points in the game against St. Mary's, for much of the night, it was a frustrating evening for her offensively. Really struggled to get going. A lot of those points came very late. Operating down low, it's Elliott, and an offensive foul as Laura Edmondson draws the charge. Good defense there from Santa Clara. And it'll be Broncos basketball with a 1-point lead as we get our first substitution of the game. Cecilia Holmberg, a junior forward from Sweden, averages 8 points per game. So she'll often provide a lot of offense off the bench. She's in the game for the first time. Here's Edmondson, and she gets bumped after the pass from Hiraki, and another Pacific foul. This one's on Ennis. Her first, and already the 3rd team foul on the Tigers. Just 2+ minutes into this game. Off the inbounds, Maldonado looking to find Heel, and they're going to say it's going to stay with Pacific. Call was overturned, a deflection. Now an inbounds from in front of the Pacific bench. Tigers and Broncos here this afternoon from the Levy Center. Heel dancing through the lane, able to finish with the left hand. Nice move from Tess Heel. Gets so creative, getting into the paint, working through traffic. Right now, 3rd in the WCC for the year at 17 points per game. 3-point try from Holmberg off the mark. And a Santa Clara rebound. Broncos leading 5-2. Heel spinning and finishes once again. So Heel, who missed that first shot, comes back, though, with back-to-back buckets. 7-2 Santa Clara. Quick shot there from James from 3 is no good. Broncos certainly looking to push it. We've seen that pretty much on every possession here early, and Ashley Maldonado able to get to the line. Pacific has started the game just 1 for 7 from the field. As we get our first Santa Clara substitution of the game, Jade Kadee is in, replacing Ashley Hiraki. Kadee scored a season-high 11 here the other night against St. Mary's. Georgia Grigoropoulou also in place of Mariah Hudgens. Grigoropoulou off of her best game of the year. 8 points, 8 rebounds, 3 blocks against the Gales. And it's a short-handed Santa Clara team. Their second and third leading scorers, Basalo and Pollard, both unavailable. Lexi Pritchard missing a second game in a row. So not a particularly deep bench once again for the Broncos. As Maldonado 1 out of 2 at the line. Santa Clara leading by an 8-2 margin. More than 3 minutes gone by here in the first quarter as Sam Ashby, her first bucket. Ashby scored 20 points against USF on Thursday, hit 4 threes. And she's been red hot of late, averaging 18 points over her last 3 games. 4-point lead for Santa Clara. Broncos swing it. Here's Heel on the wing, and she's fouled. And that's already the 4th Pacific team foul. So, or rather the 5th team foul. So Santa Clara is going to be shooting free throws here for the rest of the first quarter. In the bonus with 6:29 to go. Broncos, they've already missed a free throw tonight. They didn't miss from the line on Thursday, a perfect 12 out of 12. Heel, one of the better free throw shooters on the team at 84%. Hits them both. And she's got 6. Maldonado, the other 4 for the Broncos. Lead it 10-4 as that 3-point try from Ashby rattles out. And a Santa Clara rebound. Again, the Broncos pushing into the front court. Heel in the lane, and it drops in. And if you're Pacific, you've got to find a way to stop Tess Heel. If she gets that deep, she's going to have a huge afternoon here. And already 8 first quarter points. Now into the lane, and we get a whistle and a foul on the floor. No basket. As Holmberg operating down low. And a foul on Grigoropoulou, who for her first and the second Santa Clara team foul. 5:58 to go in this first quarter. And a 12-4 lead for Santa Clara. Broncos 4 out of 5 from the field early. 3-point attempt, and that's good. Anaya James. I mentioned her at the open. James, one of the top point guards in the conference. She was WCC All-Freshman a season ago and looks to be headed towards all-conference honors here this year. Edmondson down low on another nice pass from Maldonado. First points for Laura Edmondson. The Broncos very efficient here early on the offensive side. As James's shot rolls off, Broncos with it, up 14-7. Maldonado losing the dribble, and Pacific comes away with the basketball. Tigers now trying to push. This is Deaton driving, and she'll get to the line. Katie Deaton off the Tigers bench. As we get a foul on Laura Edmondson, her first. More substitutions. Anna Johnson's into the game now for Santa Clara for the first time. Sydney Ward, a freshman guard, also checks in for Pacific. Such an important game here for the Broncos. Every conference game is important, but when you've lost 4 straight, plus you've got another challenging road trip coming up, Broncos will be on the San Diego BYU road swing next week. Desperately want to get a win here at home before they head back out on the road. A couple of free throws for Deaton. 14-9. Heel into the lane. Left that one a little short. And we get a foul underneath. It's going to be on Santa Clara. Grigoropoulou competing for that rebound, and she's going to be called for her second foul here in the early going. It'll bring us to our first timeout of the afternoon. 4:54 to go in the first quarter. Broncos have a 5-point lead. You're watching Santa Clara basketball on the WCC Network. Fast start for Broncos freshman guard Tess Heel. She's got 8 first quarter points on 3 of 5 shooting, as the Broncos have an early 14-9 lead here over the Pacific Tigers. Heel averaging 18 points per game in WCC play. Has won 6 Conference Freshman of the Week awards. In fact, she shared the award last year with Sydney Ward of the Pacific Tigers. Shot there from James is no good. Broncos a rebound. They've got the basketball up 5, and Heel traveled. That's 4 turnovers already for Santa Clara. The Broncos, on average, commit only 14 turnovers per game. That's the fewest of any team in the conference. But a good matchup in that sense, and the Pacific forces the second most turnovers. They're an aggressive defensive team as Heel fighting for the rebound. And we get a jump ball. And Heel thought she was fouled, or perhaps just had control of the basketball. They're going to call it a jump ball. The Broncos are unhappy. It will be Santa Clara basketball on the arrow. 14-9. Broncos leading. Santa Clara shooting it well early, 5 of 7 from the field. They swing it here to Anna Johnson. Now Heel on the wing. 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Baseline jumper Edmondson leaves it short. And a rebound to Holmberg. Now driving. And no good, but a foul. And free throws coming here for James, as Tess Heel is called for a foul, and that's her second. So some significant foul trouble on the Broncos side here in this first quarter. Their leading scorer, Tess Heel, with 2, and she'll head to the bench. Grigoropoulos already sitting on the bench with 2 fouls, as James's first free throw is good. James, 79% foul shooter. Won a state championship at West High School in Torrance down in Southern California. And is off to a great start in her collegiate career. 2 seasons in now with the Pacific Tigers. And she leads Pacific with 5 points here early. Tigers are within 3. And Anna Johnson travels. She's trying to hit Hudgens in the corner, but traveled before the pass. Turnovers have been a problem here early for Santa Clara. That's 5 now in the first 6.5 minutes of this game. Broncos certainly need to cut down on that. Here's a three-point shot in the corner from James. That's well short. The ball will bounce out of bounds. It'll go back to Santa Clara. A lot of whistles here early, very different from what we had on Thursday. Both teams already in the bonus in this first quarter. Johnson putting it on the floor, baseline and finishing. Good aggressive move. Now Ashley Haraki steals the pass and give the Broncos 2 more. 4 points in a matter of about 3 seconds there for Santa Clara. Johnson with the blow-by, and then Haraki catching Pacific off guard. Stepped into the passing lane, got a steal and a layup. And now a ball out of bounds will go to Santa Clara as Edmondson stepped into the passing lane. Broncos opened up an 18-11 lead as we get another look at that Ashley Haraki steal. Broncos shooting it at 70% from the field. 7-point lead with the basketball. Ashley Maldonado initiating the offense here. Gets cut off down low. Out to a wide open Jade Kadee for 3. Kadee, who hit 3 3-pointers in the game on Thursday against St. Mary's. Coming off of her best game of the season. Healthy again after missing much of the first half of the year. As the Broncos have opened up a 10-point lead as we get a whistle and a foul underneath. And if that's on Edmondson, it's going to be her second, and it is. So the third Santa Clara player with 2 fouls already. Edmondson to the bench, and she'll be replaced by one of those other players already saddled with a couple of fouls. Grigoropoulos back in. Free throws here for Elizabeth Elliott. Hits the first. Elliott, a sophomore center from Inglewood. 10 points, 6 rebounds per game. She's the top rebounder on this Pacific squad. 14 points against USF on Thursday. It's 1 out of 2 at the line. Broncos up by 9. Again, looking to push. Here's Kadee in the corner. Another 3-point attempt is perfect. Back-to-back threes for Jade Kadee. She's got 6. And the Broncos have doubled up the Tigers. Although quickly answering back there, it's Diamond Richardson. Sophomore guard just into the game. Her first points. Santa Clara's lead is 10. Step back 3, Mariah Hudgens. Another for Santa Clara. The Broncos feeling it here from deep. 4 of 4 from 3-point range in this opening quarter. A 27-point quarter for Santa Clara. As that shot blocked underneath by Grigoropoulos. And the Broncos with it, up by 13. What a start offensively here for Santa Clara. Maldonado probing, and she's fouled. Ashley Maldonado will go to the line. Santa Clara shooting it at 77% now from the floor. And this is really nothing new. First quarter, the Broncos have been a real good first quarter team this year, especially at home. And they've gotten off to some great starts. So a couple of free throws for Maldonado, the junior guard. Hits the first. We'll hear from Ashley Maldonado at halftime here today. Maldonado coming back after missing all of last season with the ACL injury. Still wears that bulky knee brace, but moving very well and having a very nice junior season here with the Broncos. 29-14, largest lead here for Santa Clara. There's an entry pass down low. The shot from Ennis, no good. More good interior defense for the Broncos. They've held Pacific to just 23% shooting in this first quarter. Excellent start for Santa Clara. Maldonado picks up the dribble down low. Grigoropoulos for 2. Give Maldonado another assist. That's her 4th in this opening quarter. 31-14 Santa Clara. Pacific just hasn't been able to slow down this Broncos offense. As Grigoropoulos pulls down a rebound. Santa Clara can hold it for the final shot if they so choose here. And it looks like that'll be the intention. Maldonado being guarded very closely here by Richardson. Very closely, a lot of contact, and finally the foul. Richardson had her hands all over Maldonado there with 9.7 seconds left. More free throws coming for the Broncos. You see the bump. Maldonado 3 out of 4 from the line, 6 points, 4 assists for the Santa Clara point guard. First free throw is good. Second one off the mark, a rebound for Pacific. They've got time here, 5 seconds to go. Here's James, pass down low, and it's good. Madeline Ennis. And the Tigers will get the final bucket of quarter number 1. Great start, though, for Santa Clara. 32 first quarter points. They've doubled up the Tigers 32-16 after 1 at the Levy Center here on the WCC Network. Second quarter underway, opening possession here for Pacific. Broncos a 32-16 lead. Broncos shot 79% in that first quarter, 11 out of 14, including 4 out of 4 from three-point range. Pacific shot it at just 26%, and 1 out of 7 from 3. As Holmberg does get the bucket there for the Tigers, make it a 32-18 game. We'll see if the Broncos can keep it up here offensively into this second quarter. This is when things really started to dry up for him the other night against St. Mary's. Araki away from pressure, down low Hudgens, and she's fouled. Hudgens was starting to fall there, but getting tripped up. Gets the whistle, and will shoot a couple of free throws. Second foul on Ennis. Both teams dealing with foul trouble in this first half. Ennis, Elliott, and Smith, 3 Pacific starters, all with 2 fouls. Heel, Edmondson, and Grigoropoulos, all with 2 on the Santa Clara side. Edmondson will come back in now for Grigoropoulos. 2 free throws here for Hudgens, who made her first start of the season on Thursday. Been a key bench contributor all season, but with some players out right now, thrust into the starting role. Had an 11-point game against the Gales. And Now 5 points with a pair of rebounds here so far today. Broncos 34, Pacific 18. Opening minute of the second quarter. Into the corner now. This is Ashby driving. Baseline runner, shot it over the hoop. Good defense there from Santa Clara. Hudgens on the floor, able to roll it to Cadee. And the Broncos with possession. Santa Clara playing hard here this afternoon. And always nice to see the ball go through the hoop. Here's another three-point attempt. And give Mariah Hudgens 3 more. Hudgens perfect shooting the basketball today. And the Broncos up by 19, 37-18, all over Pacific here in the first half. Here the Tigers, a case of, I think, here we go again. Mentioned it earlier. They gave up 16 threes in the loss on Thursday up at USF. Entry pass, Maldonado to Edmondson. And that's too easy for Santa Clara. Another assist for Ashley Maldonado. And a timeout will be called here by Pacific's Bradley Davis. 8:07 to go in the first half. It's the Broncos 39, Tigers 18 here on the WCC Network. Broncos on a 7-0 run, forcing the Pacific timeout. A 21-point lead for Santa Clara here this afternoon against the Pacific Tigers. An incredible shooting percentage here early for the Broncos, now up to 81%. What a difference a couple of days makes as Santa Clara gets another steal. Broncos had a stretch on Thursday in which they missed 19 out of 20 shots. And we heard Bill Carr, Broncos head coach, postgame basically say, look, I mean, that's not us. Santa Clara has been one of the best offensive teams in the conference this year. 72 points per game is third best. And this is much more like it for the Broncos. What we're seeing today is Deaton misses. Ball saved, though, in the corner. Great effort there from Sidney Ward. Keeps possession here for the Tigers. James, a nice pass. A long two from Holberg, no good. And we get a foul underneath. Is going to be called on Santa Clara. And it'll be on Jade Cadee, her first. Tess Heel's going to come back in. Will play with the 2 fouls. Ashley Maldonado to the bench. What a first half it's been for Maldonado. 7 points and 6 assists. Getting a lot of people involved here today. This is Rosie Schweitzer just into the game down low. And she's got her first bucket. Junior forward from Australia. 39-20 Santa Clara. Hudgens, reverse layup, pretty move, and Hudgens, 10 points, leading all scorers. 3 of 3 from the floor. She's hit both of her threes as well. Broncos back up by 21, matching their largest lead here of this first half. Schweitzer picks up the dribble, leaves it for Ashby. Tigers swing it now. James will try the three-point attempt. Off the back rim and a Broncos rebound. Santa Clara has pushed the pace here the entire game. Heel, great look to Laura Edmondson. And the layup for two more. Terrific pass, and now we get a whistle and another turnover. The inbounds pass after the made basket. I think the player over there, Holberg, stepped over the baseline. Going from bad to worse here for Pacific. So right back to the Broncos here as Ashley Haraki tracks down that loose ball. Coming up on 6 minutes to go here in the first half, 43-20, Santa Clara. Hudgens, she'll try another and finally misses as that one caromed off the rim and then high off the backboard. Her first miss today. Pacific looking for a spark. A Holmberg three, no good. Offensive rebound, Deaton, she misses. Grigoropoulos fighting for the rebound, and we're going to get a whistle and a foul called here on the Tigers. And that'll be Holmberg's first, and the second team foul on Pacific here in the quarter. Broncos still shooting it at 75%, just 26% for Pacific. Here's Haraki, open in the corner, three-pointer rolls out, and Grigoropoulos over the back, and that'll be her third foul. That's a case where I think if you're the Broncos, you prefer Grigoropoulos just to back off. Didn't have position there, especially when you're trying to play through some foul trouble. So she's heading to the bench with those three fouls, replaced by Laura Edmondson. As we get a miss, and now a fight for the rebound underneath, and it's going to be a held ball. Santa Clara ball on the arrow. 5:18 to go in the half. And the Broncos up 43-20. Santa Clara trying to snap a four-game losing streak. Granted, the four losses, all to very good teams. Teams that were all picked to finish in the top half of the conference. San Francisco, Portland, Gonzaga, and St. Mary's. But the Broncos, they fancy themselves as a team that could compete for a spot in the top half. They need to start piling up some wins to make that a reality. Wing three, and that one's good. Sam Ashby hits. Just the second three in 10 attempts for Pacific today. And it's a 20-point game now, 43-23 Broncos. Here's Hudgens. Quick release, rattles out, and a rebound to Schweitzer. Pacific, they like to play at a fast pace as well. And you would think they'll be picking up that pace, try and get back into this game, but another turnover. Johnson finds Heel. Heel will drive into the lane, rolls in, plus the foul. Great body control there from Tess Heel, not to bowl over her defender. To see her stop in the paint. And it was Holmberg really jumping into her. And a three-point opportunity for a Heel, who becomes the second Bronco into double figures today. Up to 10 with that bucket. And the free throw rattles out. 45-23, Santa Clara. 4 minutes to go in the half. Schweitzer down low over a Hudgens and a foul. And that'll be the first on Hudgens. These teams will meet again in about a month. Santa Clara at Pacific. That'll be on February the 9th. In the second half of the conference schedule. Free throws here for Rosie Schweitzer. Averages 3 points per game off the Pacific bench. One out of two And a rebound, Anna Johnson, and she's fouled. As Ashby reaching in. A lot of fouls in this game on both sides. Fourth team foul in the quarter for Pacific, so next foul will put Santa Clara into the bonus for the rest of the half. A little bit of pressure here from Pacific. Broncos able to break it. Maldonado finds herself open. Three-point try, though, is no good, and a ball out of bounds. We'll go back to the Tigers. (45-24) Santa Clara. Largest lead was 23 a couple of minutes ago. Broncos still shooting it at 64% from the field. This is Erica Adams, number 20 in the game for the first time. Another opportunity, though, for Schweitzer, and she's been effective here in this second quarter for Pacific. 5 points, all in the quarter. 19-point Santa Clara lead. Maldonado away from the pressure. Finds Hudgens, crossover dribble. Shot, though, is no good. Players on the floor, and the basketball in the hands of the Pacific Tigers. Pushing it, Ashby, and she loses it. Hudgens got a hand in. Haraki, long pass down to Edmondson, wide open for the layup. Good court vision and awareness there from Haraki after getting that steal to see a teammate all the way down to the other end of the floor. Ashby, though, slicing through the lane, gets it right back for the Tigers. Ashby's got 7 now to lead all Pacific players. 47-28 Broncos. Thought we might have a higher scoring game here today. And the Broncos having themselves a big afternoon, and another easy look there. As Haraki to Edmondson. Laura Edmondson into double figures with 10. Edmondson, Hudgens, and Heel with 10 each. As Johnson trying to hit Hudgens there, overshot her, and the ball out of bounds. We'll go back to Pacific. Jade Kadee now back in, replacing Anna Johnson with 2:08 to go here in the first half. Been one of the best halves of the season here offensively for Santa Clara. Certainly their best half in a conference game. Three-point try, no good there from Holmberg, and we get a foul underneath. Will be called on Santa Clara. It's going to be on Jade Kadee. For Kadee, it'll be her second and the fourth Broncos team foul. So a baseline inbounds. James's pass knocked away, and we get a jump ball. And it'll stay with Pacific on the alternating possession. Broncos dealing with a lot of foul trouble here in this first half, but easier to take when you've got a 21-point lead. Hasn't really affected them. Schweitzer no good, gets her own miss though, and is able to get the bucket, plus another foul. And that'll be the second on Hudgens. Schweitzer really has been the offense here for Pacific in this second quarter, trying to keep the Tigers in this game. Schweitzer's season high is 11, which she scored in the non-conference against Wyoming. She's got 8 now here today. 49-31 Santa Clara, minute 40 to go. Little runner from Maldonado off the glass is good. 9 points for Maldonado. That's a fourth Bronco approaching double figures here in this first half. 51 points in the half for Santa Clara. That shot no good. We've got players on the floor, and a foul is going to be called here on Pacific. That was Holmberg and Deaton going for that loose ball. And it's going to be Deaton called for the foul, and Pacific is over the limit. So free throws here for Santa Clara with 1:22 to go. Johnson's back in now for Hudgens as Ashley Haraki is going to go to the foul line. 2 points for Haraki, 58% foul shooter for the year for the junior guard. First one is good. Haraki averaging Right at about 9 points per game in WCC play, has picked up her scoring as the conference season has progressed. 2 free throws for Hiraki and a 53-31 lead. Again, at the half, we'll have a conversation with junior guard Ashley Maldonado, who very conveniently is having a great game here today for Santa Clara, as Schweitzer gets another bucket. 9 points, 6 assists for Maldonado. She's got the basketball right now for Santa Clara. Less than a minute to go in the half. Long pass to Kadee for 3. She misses off the front rim. And a Pacific rebound. Broncos up by 20. Schweitzer with it up top. Swings it over to Adams. Adams driving, and she's fouled. More free throws coming. Broncos have attempted 13 free throws in this first half, 10 out of 13. This will be the 10th and 11th free throw attempts for Pacific. There have been a combined 24 fouls called in this first half. That can sometimes be a whole game's worth. Adams, junior guard from Oakland over in the East Bay, all freshman team of the WCC a couple of years ago. Hits both free throws. And it's 53-35. About a 9-second differential here. Game clock to shot clock. Maldonado with the dribble, gives it up to Edmondson. Now Hiraki up top, still 10 to shoot. Not a lot of late clock situations for the Broncos in this game. 3-point attempt from Edmondson, no good, and a Pacific rebound. 10 seconds and counting. Adams stops at the free throw line. She misses. Loose ball in the corner. Johnson comes away with it. Still 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Quick look. Edmondson at the horn, and it's good. Another assist from Ashley Maldonado. Gets it to Edmondson. And at the buzzer, Edmondson gets it to go, which caps a 55-point first half for the Santa Clara Broncos. What a half of basketball for Santa Clara, as they end up shooting it at 63% from the field in that first half and have a 20-point lead. Broncos trying to snap a 4-game losing streak. So far, so good. Up by 20 here over the Pacific Tigers. When we come back here at the half, we'll have that conversation with the Broncos junior point guard, Ashley Maldonado. That's coming up next here on the WCC Network.
It's Santa Clara basketball from the Levy Center. I'm Joe Rizzo, and joining me today, my special guest, Broncos junior guard Ashley Maldonado. And Ashley, it's been quite a ride for you. Injured, missed all of last season. Now you're back. What's it been like to be a big part of this team once again, especially after missing all that time?
Yeah, I've been super eager, just being out on the sidelines for a whole year, I bet no one can imagine, just being out there, seeing the girls on the court, making me want to be out on the floor. It was definitely a long process, but, I took every little step that I could take and the baby steps which helped me get there. And, I was very eager and I was getting anxious to play and get out on the court. Couldn't wait for a season, but, I'm finally here. And I took a lot of hard work, but I'm super glad and grateful to be out here.
How difficult was last year for you? You get hurt right as the season was getting started, and it was a year plus of rehab to get through all of that.
Yeah, it was a roller coaster. I think mentally, physically, it was tough. It was definitely tough. It took a lot rehabbing from coaches to being out in the court, but I just knew, I knew my end goal. I knew there was a light towards the end, and I knew that, all this is going to pay off towards the end, and it's just going to take strength, and I just got to fight and keep pushing myself, and that's what I did, and, I'm super blessed to be out in this court right now and to have a full year.
You're, of course, a primary ball handler on this team, a facilitator among the conference leaders in assists. How do you feel like your game has grown in that sense, especially when you have that kind of interruption in the middle of your career as you did last season?
Yeah, as much as, I hated it to be out off the court, I learned so much off the court, from the coach's perspective, from my own perspective, from seeing the girls out in the court. It's just a different view, being able to see, how the game has changed, and, took a lot of things from what I've played in the past and kind of put it here, and, just honestly a year of practice and strength and getting back to where I need to be. It definitely helped me get back on the court. I want to be a voice for the team. I'm a leader on the team. I want to be a floor general, and that's something that I was really hoping to showcase this year, coming back from this injury. But I'm just super happy to be back and playing.
I think floor general is a great way to explain it when you watch you play. Now, you're also a great shooter and have the ability to fill it up in that sense. Are there moments in games when you realize, well, maybe it's kind of my time to really lead the team in that sense?
Yeah, a lot of us can score on the team, we love sharing the ball and we like moving the ball, and as well as we love scoring as too. But, yeah, there's moments and times where, I'm like, all right, if there's an open shot, I'm going to take it. If there's a drive, I'm going to take it. But I also love to facilitate, and so being able to facilitate for my team, but not only that, if I can facilitate and then they're playing off of me, then I can shoot it as well. So just kind of being a threat on the floor and scoring at all levels.
And finally, Ashley, you're from Washington State, your fourth year in the program. What really drew you to Santa Clara? What brought you here to the Bay Area to be a part of this team and this program?
Yeah, no, Santa Clara is a great school. I'm thankful for, coming out on campus and seeing it, the girls, the coaches, everyone here at this university has played a big role for my commitment here. And the weather is beautiful. Being at Seattle, everyone knows it's rainy, it's cold. I can't do that weather. So now being here for 4 years, I'm honestly, I go back home and I'm like, I am freezing, and it's not even that cold. But, the weather, the campus, the school, my education, the relationships that I have built here, and even just basketball. I love playing basketball. And so that all has brought me here.
All right, well, it's great to see you back playing once again, and all the best to you here this season.
Thank you. Go Broncos.
All right, that's Broncos guard Ashley Maldonado. Santa Clara basketball here from the Levy Center.
Welcome back to the Levy Center. The Broncos have a 20-point halftime lead here over the Pacific Tigers. 55-35 is the score. As we take a look now at some of the first half stats, or rather first half highlights here first this afternoon. And for the Broncos, it was Tess Heel that really got it started early for Santa Clara, getting to the basket on a number of occasions in that first quarter, setting the tone. This was a nice finish from Anna Johnson off the bench. And then moments later, it was Ashley Hiraki stealing the inbounds pass. 4 points in about 3 seconds there for Santa Clara. Jade Kadee hit a couple of threes in that first half. 2 of the 5 made threes for Santa Clara. Mariah Hudgens was nearly perfect shooting the basketball in that opening half. Ashley Maldonado all half doing a great job finding teammates. There to Grigoropoulos. Another 3 from Hudgens. This time Hudgens the reverse layup for 2 of her 10 points. And this was the bucket at the very end of the first half, as Santa Clara capping a 55-point half here against Pacific, ended up shooting the ball at 63% from the field. And 2 more there for Laura Edmondson, leading the way for Santa Clara with 10 points in that opening half. So quite a half of basketball offensively for the Broncos. Again, mentioned at 63% overall. They shot it to just 32% for the Pacific Tigers. Broncos were 5 out of 10 from three-point range to just 2 out of 11 for Pacific. Broncos the slight edge in rebounding. 11 assists for the Broncos on their 20 made baskets. 6 turnovers, and 5 of those, I think, came in the first 7 minutes. So the Broncos did a much better job taking care of the basketball the second quarter on here this afternoon. Individually, the Broncos 3 players in double figures. Edmondson leading the way with 12, 10 each for Hudgens and Heel. 9 points plus 7 assists for Ashley Maldonado, the floor general for the Santa Clara team. And off the bench, Rosie Schweitzer, the leading scorer for Pacific, with 10 points, all coming in that second quarter. Broncos up 20 here at the half over the Tigers. Second half action is coming up next here on the WCC Network. About to get the second half underway here at the Levy Center. 55-35 is the Santa Clara lead. Important game here for the Broncos, trying to get a win before a long road trip. Not only the two games next week at San Diego and then at BYU. At San Diego Thursday night, BYU next Saturday afternoon. The following week, Broncos will still be on the road, although won't have to travel far, just up the road to the University of San Francisco. So 3 straight road games up next for Santa Clara. They won't be back at home until February the 2nd. And they take on the Gonzaga Bulldogs. 6 o'clock tip-off, and our next women's basketball broadcast here from the Levy Center on the WCC Network. Gonzaga off to a 6-0 start in conference play, taking on 6-0 Portland later on tonight. A big early season game in the WCC. It'll get going here in a couple of hours. All right, second half underway, and the starting 5 on the floor right now for Santa Clara after their 55-point first half here against Pacific. Broncos will try and keep it going as they look to win a second game here in conference play. Maldonado, wing 3, no good. Hudgens, though, right there for the offensive rebound. Misses the putback, however. And it's out of bounds to Pacific. Believe it or not, that was the first offensive rebound of the game for Santa Clara, which really speaks to the fact they didn't miss very many shots in that first half. There weren't a whole lot of offensive rebound opportunities. Here's Pacific's first possession of this third quarter. Didn't see a lot of Liz Smith, number 24, in that first half. Picked up 2 early fouls and then sat for a long time. Tigers leading scorer at 14 points per game. A little surprising maybe that she did sit for so long, given that Pacific fell behind by a considerable margin. But she's out there now, here to start half number 2. Pass into the corner, Haraki, 3-point shot, no good. And James pulls down the rebound. Still looking for our first points here in quarter 3. James stops, 4-3 and hits. Not an easy shot to make. Stopping right behind the line, and James with her second 3 of the day. She's got 8 points. Here's Haraki down low to Edmondson. Edmondson making a move with a left hand, comes up short, and the rebound picked up by Elliott. Pacific trying to build some momentum here early in the third. Good defense from Heel, and then it was Haraki that came in and picked up the steal to Hudgens. Hudgens gives it up to Edmondson, and now the Broncos will set up the offense. 2 minutes gone by here in the third quarter. Broncos still looking for their first points of the quarter. Here's Hudgens. She's open and missed everything on the 3, but a whistle and a foul away from the ball as Edmondson was pushed to the ground. And it'll be a foul on Ennis, which is her third. So the Broncos will keep possession as Holmberg into the game, replacing Ennis. 55-38, 17-point Santa Clara lead. Maldonado will inbound on the baseline. Gets it back in the corner, a long 2 off the back rim. And a rebound to Ashby. Ashby will quickly bring it into the front court, gives it up to James. And now Pacific will set things up. Tigers trying to avoid an 0-2 week, beaten on Thursday by San Francisco. They're heading back home next as Ashley Haraki, another steal, and now we get a held ball. Active hands from Haraki. Always finding a way to make something happen defensively. It'll be Pacific basketball on the arrow. Still a 17-point Santa Clara advantage. Ashby with an entry pass down for Elliott, and it's tipped away. Edmondson got a fingertip on it. Here's Heel into the lane, and we're going back the other way. Traveling call on Tess Heel. Oftentimes, Heel's able to make that move in the lane and do so without traveling. So crafty with the basketball as we get a turnover the other way. James trying to get a pass down low and overshot her teammate. Back to Santa Clara. Nearly 3 minutes gone by here in the third quarter. Broncos still haven't scored yet. Up by 17 here at 55-38. Maldonado back to Hiraki. Hiraki driving all the way to the basket, and that one goes. First bucket for the Broncos in the third quarter. Hiraki's got 6. Nice aggressive move. James down low to Elliott, and Hiraki again with a steal. Quickly out ahead, Tess Heel, and Heel is fouled. Ashby came flying in, prevented the bucket, but committed the foul. Free throws for Heel as Jade Kadee back in for Santa Clara. Deaton will return here for Pacific. Heel had 10 points in that first half. She only played 9 minutes. Most of the scoring came very early in the first quarter. She really set the tone for the Broncos. And then got that second foul and didn't play a whole lot in quarter number 2. 2 free throws for Heel. She's got 12. Matches Edmondson as the leading scorer for Santa Clara here this afternoon. There's Smith all the way. Wild shot. Elliott had the rebound momentarily, but then lost it. Frustrating game for Liz Smith. Only the 2 points for Pacific's leading scorer. Heel, good look to Kadee, and she buries another 3. Third 3 for Kadee. 9 points off the bench for the junior transfer from UC Irvine. Really seeing what she can do shooting the basketball here this week at home. Nice move spinning Ashby, and she's going to get to the free throw line. So Ashby trying to create. As we get a foul on Kadee, which will be her third, and quickly right back to the bench for Kadee with those 3 fouls. A couple of free throws here for Sam Ashby, senior guard from Australia, 3-year starter. And having a very nice season here for the Tigers. 10 points, 6 rebounds per game. 1 out of 2 at the line as Hudgens clears the rebound. 62-39. Santa Clara with the lead. 5:50 remaining here in the third quarter. Heel spinning baseline. Good ball movement. Extra pass to Johnson in the corner. Pretty good look from 3, but it rattles out. Still a good possession there for Santa Clara. Here's Ashby up top. She'll go for a deep 3 there. Ashby hits. That was 3 or 4 feet behind the line. And Ashby with her second made 3 of the game. Brings Pacific to within 20. Heel trying to give it up to Edmondson. Ball's on the floor, and Pacific comes away with it. Now the Tigers will try and push. Deaton all the way. Contact and an offensive foul. Hiraki drawing another charge. And Deaton slow to get up. I don't know if there's any better defenders in this conference than Ashley Hiraki. Everything that she does when it comes to drawing charges, stepping in passing lanes, does so many things for this Santa Clara team. And now the scoring is increased as well for her. Grigoropoulou's going to come back in here for Santa Clara as Edmondson to the bench. Right at the halfway point here of the third quarter. Broncos were up 20 at the half, still up by 20 here over the Pacific Tigers. There's Heel with the basketball, and we get a whistle and a foul underneath. Grigoropoulou was trying to establish position. She was just into the game, and now picks up her 4th foul of the afternoon. It'll bring us to a mandatory timeout. Broncos up 20 here on the WCC Network. 20-point lead here for Santa Clara. Broncos just 2 out of 9 shooting the basketball here in this third quarter, but still at 54% for the game to just 34% for the Pacific Tigers. Pacific's also turned it over 14 times. Tigers basketball out of the timeout. A lot of the top players for Pacific have really struggled to get going here today. As we get a foul on Pacific, it's Sydney Ward, an illegal screen. First foul on Ward and the 4th Tigers team foul in the quarter, so the next one puts Santa Clara into the bonus. And we get a technical foul that's called here on the Pacific bench. So maybe some frustration over there. Head coach Bradley Davis, his 8th year at the helm. Unhappy with that last call and unhappy perhaps with a lot of what's been going on here today with his team down by 20. So it'll be free throws coming. The technical, and Bradley Davis wanting an explanation. Last year was a tough year for the Tigers. They went just 3-14 in conference play. Brought back nearly their entire team, though. And certainly they have expectations of finishing far higher in the standings this year. They've already won twice in conference play. These teams split their 2 regular season meetings last year, with the home team winning, and then it was Santa Clara blasting Pacific in the first round of the conference tournament. Beat him 93-69. Lindsey Van Allen scored 31 in that game. As Anna Johnson, again, flying to the basket. And a layup for 2 more. Johnson's done that a couple of times here for the Broncos today. 4 points for the junior guard, Southern California. Nice bounce pass down low as Ashby hits Schweitzer. Schweitzer with 12 to lead all Pacific scorers. Broncos, though, up 22 here inside of 4 minutes to go in the third quarter as James comes away with a steal. James quickly back the other way. Great pass over to Ashby. And the easy 2. And that's James, really her game right there, creating defensively. And then a good look for a teammate, and it's going to prompt a timeout called by the Broncos' Bill Carr. So it's a full timeout. We'll take it with them. 3:42 to go here in the third quarter. Broncos still up 20, 66-46 here on the WCC Network. Broncos really have been in control the entire way thus far. 32-point first quarter. Santa Clara was up 16 after 1. took a 20-point lead into the halftime locker room. Have been ahead by as many as 24 here in the third quarter. After that Edmondson bucket, the lead now at 22. Smith kind of had her legs cut out from under her. No whistle. And now we get another offensive foul. And who else? Ashley Hiraki drawing the contact. Moving her feet, getting into position. And the third foul on Smith. It just hasn't been Liz Smith's night here at the Levy Center. Got a couple of 20-point games this year. Hasn't done much here this afternoon. Shut down by Santa Clara. Foul trouble has been an issue as well for her. 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Broncos have 3 players in double figures. Heel and Edmondson with 14 each. Hudgens has 10. Here's Heel. Thought about it from 3. Shot clock winding down, and it'll be a shot clock violation. Heel may have been better served taking that 3. As she taps her chest as she walks back down the court. As to say, my fault. Just didn't give Edmondson much of a chance there with that clock hitting 0. Now we get a foul called on the Broncos. And Pacific free throws coming as Laura Edmondson will get his third. And free throws here for Deaton. Deaton, a junior guard, started her career at Northern Colorado. A couple of years then at North Dakota State. And now her first season with Pacific. 6 points per game. Coming off the bench as we get a foul on the missed free throw. And it's going to be on Pacific. Sydney Ward called for her second. And that's the 15th foul in the quarter for Pacific. So we're going to walk all the way down to the other side of the floor. And free throws coming here for Santa Clara. And 2 free throws for Mariah Hudgens. First one is good. Hudgens' season high is 16 points. Up to 11 here today, making just her second start of the season, make it 12. She's also grabbed 5 rebounds. Maldonado will check back in, replacing Heel. 2:39 to go in the quarter. Chance to be one of the Broncos' best offensive outputs of the season if they keep going at this rate. 70-47 lead. Schweitzer down low, nice move, and another finish. Season high for Rosie Schweitzer, 14 points on 6 of 7 shooting. All of her points might be in the paint as Hudgens hits a 3. Third 3 for Hudgens today, the 7th for Santa Clara. Hudgens now leads all scorers with 15, just 1 off of her career high. Pacific will go right back to Schweitzer, and as Edmondson falls to the ground, Schweitzer another bucket. It really has been Pacific's best source of offense here today on the low block with Schweitzer. Maldonado gives it up to Hudgens. She'll try another one. Had a good look, but missed. Broncos have had a lot of great looks here today. 22-point lead as James, the runner, gets it to go. James into double figures with 10. Broncos, though, still up by 20. Late third quarter here at the Levy Center. Araki to Hudgens, finds Maldonado in the corner. Broncos swing it. Now it's Hudgens, and she converts. Hudgens was all over the floor on that offensive possession. And give her a new career high, 17 for the freshman from Colorado. There's Schweitzer, and Maldonado, the help defender, came flying in and poked the ball out of bounds. Broncos may need that second defender here to try and handle Schweitzer down low. Off the inbounds. Adams will step inside the arc. Shot rattles out. Hudgens the rebound, knocked out of bounds. And the Broncos will keep possession with 48.4 to go here in the third quarter. It's a slow start to the quarter for Santa Clara, but they've certainly picked things up. Their shooting percentage for the game still at 55%. 7 out of 17 from three-point range. They're shooting over 50% from the field and over 40% from three, as the Broncos are. Not to mention 84% from the foul line. And that is operating at very high efficiency. And more free throws coming here for Edmondson as Schweitzer called for her first. 29.3 seconds to go in the quarter. First free throw missed there by Clara Edmondson, who's got 14 points today. She's approaching her season high. Had 16 in a game against UC Santa Cruz last month. One free throw for Edmondson. She'll take a seat as Grigoropoulos back in. And the Broncos up by 23. Pacific can hold it now for the final shot here of the third quarter. James dribbling out near center court. Will give it up here to Ward. Hands off to Deaton. 10 seconds left. Bounce pass for Schweitzer, and Schweitzer can't handle it. It's out of bounds. Back to Santa Clara, and plenty of time here for the Broncos. 8.7 seconds. Pacific applying some pressure, full court. Maldonado across the half-court line to Hudgens. Hudgens' deep three is no good. And Pacific clears the rebound to end quarter number 3. Broncos up by 23. Fourth quarter action is next on the WCC Network. Starting the fourth quarter here at the Levy Center. Broncos in control right now, a 23-point lead. 76 points over the first 3 quarters today as Mariah Hudgens adds to her career-high total. 19 points now for Hudgens. Just a true scorer. And part of this excellent freshman class here, Santa Clara, along with Tess Heel and Georgia Grigoropoulos, all 3 making notable contributions. And it's been Hudgens, really, that's been the star of the group here today. This is Santa Clara's largest lead now of the game, up by 25. Opening minute of the fourth quarter. A shorthanded Santa Clara team. Once again, they're out there with only 8 players, but making it work. Here's Kadee, a long three-pointer. No good. A long rebound. Kadee and Grigoropoulos came together, and we'll get a held ball. Pacific basketball on the arrow. We'll see if the Broncos can get some of these players back next week when they head back out on the road. Olivia Pollard and Lexi Pritchard, of course, 2 key performers and players that often are starting. They've both been unavailable for each of the 2 games here this week. Gianna Basalo missing her 9th game in a row as she continues her recovery from a knee injury. Broncos are hoping to get her back, though, at some point. There's a layup there for Pacific. Ennis. She's got 4, and it's 78-55. Maldonado with the dribble here for Santa Clara. Gives it up to Kadee. Finds Heel. Heel, step back, long 2, high arcing shot. Off the back rim, and a rebound to Pacific. Tigers will try and push. Now down low, it's Elliott. Off the window, she misses. Maldonado grabs the rebound. 8 minutes to go in the game. Broncos in a good position right now to snap their 4-game skid. Hudgens, another 3 off the back rim. And a long rebound controlled by Pacific. Here's James to Ennis, baseline. Thought about the pass, instead takes the shot. Misses, and Grigoropoulos with the rebound. The Broncos could certainly use that added depth with this tough road trip coming. San Diego's been playing well. They'll be up first for the Broncos on Thursday night. Well, the Broncos and the Toreros last played one another as Heel's 3 no good. It was that very emotional game in the second round of the WCC tournament last March, which was won by Santa Clara. Broncos ending San Diego's season. That's a good little rivalry as Kadee misses and a Pacific rebound. I think what makes the upcoming road trip so difficult is the travel. As a block shot, Santa Clara with the ball now. Going from San Diego then to BYU, playing the second game at high elevation. As Kadee's 3 off the mark. And that'll be the task at hand for Santa Clara next week, Thursday and Saturday. So to go into that stretch with a home win, vital. And certainly it's looking good there for the Broncos. Up 78-55. Santa Clara a little sluggish here to start this fourth quarter. In fact, they've missed their last 6 shots. And Bill Carr is going to call a timeout here. With 6:20 to go, it'll be a full timeout. We'll take a break. The Broncos leading by 23 here on the WCC Network. Back here at the Levy Center, been a big day offensively for the Broncos. A few moments ago, Jade Kadee hitting her third three of the afternoon. Hannah Johnson getting to the bucket. And it's a 23-point lead for Santa Clara. Broncos with the basketball out of the timeout. Coming up on the 6-minute mark in this game. And Mariah Hudgens leading the way for Santa Clara with a career-high 19. She is not on the floor right now as we get an offensive foul. Anna Johnson bowling over her defender as she drove baseline. And a Santa Clara turnover. Broncos have gone 3.5 minutes now without scoring, but still have the sizable advantage here. And another steal as Ashley Maldonado comes in. It's the 11th steal for Santa Clara today. Maldonado, though, turns it over at center court. Pacific will try and answer. Schweitzer misses. Rebound controlled by Ennis. Tried to kick it out towards Dalton. Johnson got a hand on it, and it's going to be an over and back call. The Pacific doesn't like the call, but it'll go back to Santa Clara. There's 12 steals for Santa Clara. Ashley Hiraki's got 4 of them. 2 each for Maldonado and Edmondson. Johnson's got a pair. Santa Clara has held Pacific to just 38% shooting. Broncos, during this current 4-game losing streak, allowed 78 or more points in all 4 games. Broncos, prior to the losing streak, statistically at least, been one of the best defensive teams in the conference. Trying to get back to those ways here. And this has certainly been a step back in that direction here this afternoon. There's a kicked ball. It'll be a baseline inbounds here for Santa Clara with 20 on the shot clock. Heel to enter it in to Edmondson. Back to Maldonado. Broncos trying to snap a 4+ minute scoring drought as we get a foul underneath. Edmondson had the basketball and got held down there by Liz Smith, which will be her 4th. Just the first team foul in the quarter here on the Tigers. So another inbounds for Santa Clara. Heel gets the ball back. She'll try the wing 3 off the back rim. Edmondson had a hand on the rebound. Couldn't control it, though, and it'll go back to Pacific. Broncos' shooting percentage dropped to 48% as the offense has gone quiet here in the 4th quarter. But still the nice lead thanks to what they were able to accomplish in the first 3 quarters in this game. As Smith misses the 3, and we get a Pacific foul underneath. It'll be Schweitzer's second. And Broncos basketball past the halfway point here of the 4th quarter. 78-55 Santa Clara. Broncos win here today would be their 11th overall of the year, trying to run their overall record to 11-9. Here's Edmondson and a 3-second call. Just got caught there in the paint with nowhere to go. Good interior defense from the Tigers. And a Santa Clara turnover. Been stuck on 78-55 here for about 4 minutes. Long scoring droughts for both teams. Smith posting up. Nice move and a high arcing shot over heel. Ends the Pacific scoring drought. Broncos up by 21. Heel over into the corner, Maldonado. She'll try a 3. No good. And a Pacific rebound. Tigers will push it in transition. Adams gives it up to Smith, and she's hammered. And will go to the line. So Liz Smith, Pacific's leading scorer, saddled with some first half foul trouble. Only 4 points in this game. She'll try and add to that as Heel called for her 3rd. 3:55 remaining in this game. The Broncos quickly established things here early. A 32-point first quarter. They were up 16. After that first quarter, they were ahead by 20 at the half. And Pacific really just hasn't been able to go on any kind of sustained run to really make the Broncos uncomfortable here in the second half. And even with this Santa Clara scoring drought, they're still up by 20. 3:40 to go in this game. Hudgens is back in here for the Broncos. As Maldonado, an errant pass, a steal, and now a foul. The turnovers really piling up here for Santa Clara. Third team foul on the Broncos. First personal on Maldonado. And Pacific basketball with 3:33 remaining. Again, these teams will meet one more time in the regular season. February the 9th in Stockton. It'll be part of a Pacific St. Mary's road trip for the Broncos next month. Bounce pass down low to Smith, and she's going to go right back to the free throw line. And it's going to be another foul on Tess Heel. Heel played with 2 fouls there for a long time. Back-to-back fouls, so she's got 4 now. Less of an issue with a 20-point lead, so late in the game. But Smith right back to the line. This is the first. Smith has shown great improvement throughout her career. She averaged only 2 points per game as a freshman. Made a big jump last year as a sophomore, up to 10 points a game, and now the Tigers' leading scorer at 14 points per contest. Good player. Heel able to break the press. Now trying to find Hiraki, and the pass knocked out of bounds. And the Broncos will keep it with 3:15 to go and a 19-point lead. Broncos need a bucket, though. It's been 6 minutes since they've last scored. Here's an inbounds. Heel gets it back. She'll try the 3 off the back rim. And it's Deaton going high for the rebound. Deaton still with it, trying to go coast to coast. Comes up short, though. Contested layup. And the Broncos now will take a little bit of time as Hiraki brings it across the half-court line inside of 3 minutes left. 78-59 Santa Clara. Hudgens down low over the defender. Tough shot. Good defense from Ennis. Comes away with the basketball. Pacific in transition. Ashby gets cut off. Deaton thought about the long 3. Instead, down low to Schweitzer. Active hands from Hiraki. Knocked the ball away. Maldonado comes away with it. Quickly out ahead to Hudgens for 2. That ends that long scoring drought for Santa Clara. And Mariah Hudgens up to 21 points. In fact, she's 1 rebound away from a double-double. 21 and 9 for the freshman. The best game of her young collegiate career as we get an and 1 here for Madeline Ennis. Santa Clara foul with 2:05 remaining. 4th foul on Edmondson as Johnson and Grigoropoulos back in for Santa Clara. Edmondson and Heel will sit, likely for the rest of the day. 2:05 remaining. And a comfortable lead here for Santa Clara, up by 19. They have held Pacific to just 38% shooting here today, only 4 out of 15 from three-point range. As the Tigers will call a timeout. We'll keep it here with 2:05 to go. And Santa Clara leading 80-62. Again, our next women's basketball broadcast here from the Levy Center will be after this long road trip for the Broncos. February the 2nd, Santa Clara will be hosting one of the teams that is currently tied for first in the conference, the Gonzaga Bulldogs, a 6 o'clock tip. Broncos and Zags here on February 2nd. We'll see where the Broncos stand going into February with some challenging road games coming up. Broncos are still looking for their first road conference win. They'll try and get that on Thursday down in San Diego. So full court pressure here from Pacific. Broncos need to get it across, and they do. Johnson to Maldonado, and we get a foul. Ashley Maldonado also close to a double-double in this game with 9 points and 9 assists for one of the Broncos ball handlers. It's just the third Pacific team foul, so it'll be an inbounds here for Santa Clara with 1:52 remaining in the game. Maldonado with the basketball out near center court. 7 of those 9 assists for Maldonado came in the first half. Running the team very well here today. Still with it. Maldonado curls underneath the basket, tried to get it to Grigoropoulos, but the pass was stolen, and now we get a Santa Clara foul as Haraki trips up Ashby. And with the Broncos over the limit, it'll be Pacific free throws. 1:31 left, and Tess Heal's actually going to come back into the game here for Santa Clara, replacing Johnson. Free throws for Deaton here, who hits the first. Pacific has turned it over 21 times in this game. As Edmondson back in as well for Santa Clara. Broncos trying to close this one out. Pacific still playing hard, and they force a turnover in the backcourt. Tigers get it right back, and they throw it away as Haraki comes away with yet another steal. And a Pacific foul. They still had one more to give. That's Ashley Haraki's 6th steal of the game, to go with 6 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. And now we get an offensive foul called on Santa Clara. And that was Haraki as she tried to create some room and shoved that was Smith to the ground. Well, Bill Carr probably not going to be too pleased with how these last few minutes have gone. Broncos have just stopped scoring in this game. Only 4 points in this fourth quarter. But still cruising thanks to what they did in the first 3 quarters. Bucket there for Schweitzer makes it a 14-point game. Broncos quickly get it across the timeline. 70 seconds left. Heel with the dribble to Edmondson in the corner for 3. This is short. And a Pacific rebound with a minute to go. Quickly ahead Schweitzer, but the pass stolen. Hudgens tapped the ball, and now it's Maldonado with it. A closing minute of this game, 80-66. Santa Clara leading. The Broncos are going to snap their 4-game skid, get a second WCC win, and run their overall record to 11-9, one they absolutely needed to have here at home before heading back out on a challenging trip. And they really took it to Pacific early as Hudgens' shot with the shot clock expiring short. Tigers with it, and Haraki got a hand in there yet again. And another Santa Clara steal. And that is going to do it here at the Levy Center. A satisfying win for the Santa Clara Broncos as they really dominated this one against the Pacific Tigers. The final score, Santa Clara 80, Pacific 66. Broncos get their second WCC win, led by Mariah Hudgens' career-high 21 points. We'll take a break, have more here from Santa Clara in a moment. Broncos win it by 14 here on the WCC Network. All right, back here at the Levy Center following this 80-66 Santa Clara win over the Pacific Tigers. Joined now courtside by Coach Carr. And, Coach, it looked like your team, a real sense of urgency early. Jumped on him in that first quarter, a 32-point first. And it really didn't let up. This had to have been a very satisfying win here today.
It was. And, yes, there was some urgency from everybody in the locker room. And they practiced like it yesterday. And normally when that happens, you get you don't even know what the result's going to be, but at least the product is better. And I thought we played harder. I thought we had more purpose, a little tougher, all that stuff in order to win a conference game, right? And that's a team that can really put up points. And I thought we guarded them in the first half pretty well. Second half, it wasn't terrible. They get 31 in the second half, so I was pleased. I thought we rebounded. We got a little loose with the ball late, and we got to clean that up. But we're still growing.
And defensively, I know it had been a little bit of a struggle. Granted, playing some very, very good offensive teams the last couple of weeks. But you hold them to 39% today and 16 steals. I mean, you had some very active players today on the defensive side, I thought.
Yeah, no, I thought everybody was active. They were helping each other, and then that allows somebody like Ashley Hiraki to go get 7 steals, which is unbelievable in a game. But there's others. Ashley Maldonado had 4. Anna had 4. So, I think it was just a good team effort that we needed. Right now we head to the road and 2 tough road games with San Diego and BYU, and get back to work on Monday, get better, and but happy for them. They've been putting the work in. They have, and today it paid off.
How about the game from one of your freshmen, Mariah Hudgens? Moved into the starting lineup, a little shorthanded right now, but started both games here this week. A career-high 21 points today, plus 9 rebounds. I think we kind of saw early. I mean, she's a natural scorer, right? I mean, she can fill it up from anywhere on the court. Seems like a very confident player, and it's really coming together for her here in this conference season, I think.
Yeah, no, really happy for her, really proud of her. She played with great purpose today, right? She had a look in her eye and, darn near a double-double. Maybe we can go look at the tape and get one more rebound for her. But, yeah, really happy with her. I thought she played well. We got good contribution from everybody, pretty balanced in the minutes. But, again, these conference games are hard to get, and you got to take care of it at home. And I thought we did for 3.5 quarters. And we got either tired or what have you, being down to 8 and not a whole lot of rotation. But we'll clean that up, and you learn as you go. But I think every coach in America would want to learn while they're winning.
Yeah, and finally, you touched on the upcoming road trip. San Diego, BYU, it's a challenging trip, challenging travel, 2 good teams. San Diego was an emotional game that you won last year in the conference tournament. What does this group need to do to now get over the hump on the road and beat some of these good teams on the road in conference play?
First of all, you got to pack your defense. That better be in your duffel bag when you get on the plane on Wednesday night, because you're going to have to guard San Diego differently than you may have to guard BYU, but you still got to guard them. And both teams are ultra physical, right? So we're going to have to dig in, get a little lower, get our hips lower, our knees bent, and be ready to play 2 physical teams on the road. But we're up for the challenge. These guys have not backed down from anybody. We'll see about who we have and maybe who's coming back to give us some help. But really, again, really happy with the group today. Really happy for them. Really proud of them to come out with, like you said, great urgency to get a win.
All right, Coach, appreciate the time, and congrats on the win.
All right, thanks.
All right, that's Santa Clara head coach Bill Carr after this 80-66 Broncos win here over the Pacific Tigers. We're going to have a player guest as well here post-game as the Broncos get this much-needed win here over the Pacific Tigers. Joined now courtside by one of the stars, Bronco freshman Mariah Hudgens, a career-high 21 points. That must feel good for you in a very important game for your team to contribute as you did.
Yeah, it was very awesome. My team did a great job of getting me the ball. Our offense was flowing really, really well, so it was a great feeling. I'm glad we could get the win.
And Coach talked about some urgency today, a frustrating loss here at home 48 hours ago. Did you feel that with you and the team, especially in that first quarter?
Yes, I mean, especially today, but we mostly felt it yesterday in practice. We practiced for about an hour yesterday, and it was hard. We worked a lot on our defense, just making sure we're in the right places, just talking, and it mostly starts with our effort. I mean, our big thing in the locker room has been like, we are not a 1-5 team. We just had a bad start. And so it's washing our hands of it, moving on, getting ready for our next opponent. But it starts with our heart, starts with our fire, and just making sure we are ready to play.
Well, we certainly saw that today. How about for you individually? It just seems like the confidence has been growing more and more as this freshman season has gone on.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely started off a little slow, just getting used to the collegiate vibe and just how it plays. It's a lot faster pace, and everyone's good. I think that was the biggest difference for me is, going in, like, I was, one of the stars in Colorado. Now I'm coming in, and, like, now we have teams that have 10 players who are all the stars. So just getting used to it, adjusting to our offense, to our defense, and just making sure I'm being the ultimate teammate.
Well, it was fun watching you play here today. 21 points, 9 rebounds. Coach said we need to get you one more rebound for that double-double. Got to find that next time.
I know, right?
Well, congratulations. A great effort and a great win today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, that's Mariah Hudgens, our player of the game here today, following this 80-66 Santa Clara win over the Pacific Tigers. Broncos snap their losing streak at their 11th win overall here. And again, much needed over this Pacific squad. Broncos now head out on the road for that challenging trip, San Diego and BYU, next Thursday and Saturday. Some of the final numbers in this game, the Broncos ended up shooting it at 45% from the floor. So that the field goal percentage did drop considerably in the fourth quarter. Broncos were well over 50% for much of the day, 7 out of 26 from three-point range. Held Pacific to just 39% from the floor. Broncos had 16 assists on their 28 made baskets and forced 24 turnovers in this game. Broncos ended up with 16 steals. And Coach mentioned the 7 from Ashley Haraki leading the way on the defensive side of things. Individually, for Santa Clara this afternoon, our post-game guest, Mariah Hudgens, top scorer, top rebounder, 21 points and 9 rebounds for the freshman, making just her second career start. Laura Edmondson had 15. Tess Heel also with 14, and many of those came very early, part of that big first quarter for Santa Clara. Ashley Maldonado, 9 points and 9 assists. So she was just 1 point and 1 assist off the double-double. 9 points on 3 made threes from Jade Kadee off the bench. Leading scorer for Pacific was Rosie Schweitzer with 18 off the bench. Broncos improved to 2-5 in WCC play, 11-9 overall. Again, they're next in action Thursday night at San Diego, Saturday afternoon at BYU. Our next home broadcast here from the Levy Center won't be coming up until February the 2nd. That'll be a Thursday night. Santa Clara will host Gonzaga, a 6 o'clock tip-off, and we hope you'll join us then. This telecast was granted by Santa Clara University and the West Coast Conference. Any use and rebroadcast requires the express written consent of Santa Clara and the WCC. For the entire BAOSN broadcast team, I'm Joe Rizzo, thanking you for watching. Broncos win it 80-66 the final. Thanks for tuning in. So long from Santa Clara.